Spring training is officially here, and that means the 2024 Major League season has officially started. So there's simply no better time to make bold predictions, because every team wants to have a little hope going into the season. Now, this is going to be a two-part series. This first one is going to be for the American League teams, and hopefully in 2 days, I'll have one for the National League teams as well. So make sure you subscribe and turn on post notifications so you will be notified when that video releases. With that being said, let's get into the AL East and start out with the Boston Red Sox. So for the Boston Red Sox, I have Ceddanne Rafaela wins the American League center fielder Gold Glove. Now, if you don't know who Ceddanne Rafaela is, that's not super surprising, but he's one of the Red Sox top prospects, and this guy is a defensive wizard. He can play all over the diamond, but with the Red Sox not having a true clear-cut center fielder, and that being his best position, I'm assuming he's going to win camp as the opening day center fielder. If this happens, I think he is as good of a fielder as anyone in Major League Baseball, so I think he will win the American League Gold Glove. Give me Ceddanne winning the Gold Glove in center field. Moving on to the New York Yankees, I have a prediction that I do not want to say out loud because I don't even want to put it into the universe. However, we're being fair here, so I'm going to. The Yankees get the 1 seed in the American League. Ew, that feels so terrible to say, but I think that there's a chance that that might happen. But I don't think it's necessarily how good the Yankees are that really sets them apart. It's kind of just the American League in general is just a little weak this year, in my opinion. And because of that, I think it just means that the Yankees have a huge chance to really take over the American League once again. I don't want to say that, but I think it might happen. Jackson Holliday started the first spring training game for the Baltimore Orioles at home, and I think that that's going to continue for the 2024 season. I think Jackson Holliday will be the opening day shortstop for the Baltimore Orioles. This kid is only 20 years old, which is absolutely ridiculous, and he's just incredible. He mashed baseballs at A-ball, AA, and AAA last season, and I think he's just going to start in Major League Baseball this year. I think he's already proven enough in the minor leagues, and I think he's going to be an immediate impact bat for the Baltimore Orioles. For the Blue Jays, I have a prediction that's going to make people very mad at me because people are going to think I'm so wrong. However, I'm going to go with it anyway because I feel it in my gut. I think Vladimir Guerrero Jr. is going to win the American League home run title. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. is a very good baseball player, and we're getting away from that because of his lackluster 2023 season where he got extremely unlucky. I think over the offseason, he really focused on learning ways to get those unlucky outcomes into more luck-based scenarios, and I think he's gonna just mash home runs again. We've seen him be one of the best players in baseball multiple times in his career, and I think in 2024 we are going to see the best version of Vladdy Jr. Finishing out the American League East, luckily I have a prediction that's not gonna make anyone mad because we all know that the Rays don't have a single fan. It's that they're gonna come last place in the division. I know, the clear-cut consensus is the Red Sox are gonna be last place in the division, and the Red Sox, I understand. The Rays have lost so much, too much this time in my opinion to bounce back from. I don't think it's possible. Wander Franco is gone, Tyler Glasnow is gone, Shane McClanahan is out for most of the season, I believe. I just don't think that they have enough depth anywhere to compete. I really don't. I think that they're going to be bad this year. I truly do. So let's move on to the AL Central now. Starting out the Central, I'm going to be talking about the Minnesota Twins, and I have they go back to 2019 form and lead MLB in home runs. This one might seem a little crazy, and it kind of does to me too, but there's just something telling me that the Twins are just going to homer like crazy again this year. Target Field seems to be a place where the ball just jumps year after year, so I'm interested to see how it plays in 2024. But for this prediction to come true, they're really going to need their stars like Carlos Correa and Byron Buxton to stay healthy, and they haven't been able to do that for a couple of years now, so this might blow up on me, but I hope it doesn't. I feel like the Twins are going to have a really strong offensive season. I have them leading the MLB in home runs. Might be crazy, I don't know. I don't think I've said a single good thing about the Chicago White Sox on this channel since I've started it, and today is no different because I'm saying that they're going to be the second worst team in baseball, and they're going to aggressively sell at the trade deadline. They are 100% trading Dylan Cease at the trade deadline, in my opinion, and I also think that there's a pretty good chance that they ship off Luis Robert Jr. as well, and man, That would be bad for White Sox fans, but I think that there's a possibility that those 3 things happen. Those are all my prediction for the White Sox. They're gonna suck. Next up, I have the Detroit Tigers, and I've been high on them this whole offseason, and again, that's not changing for this video. I have them winning the AL Central. I think that the Tigers' rotation is so much better than the Twins, it's not even funny. I also think that the bullpens are pretty comparable. I know that the Twins have a good bullpen, but the Tigers' bullpen is really good as well, and I think that the offenses are pretty similar. So I think that the Tigers have a chance to win because of their rotation. Again, these are bold predictions. They don't all have to come true. It's just what I think could happen, and being pretty bold, I think this is a good one for the list. I want to try it. Detroit Tigers, let's go out and win the AL Central. For the Kansas City Royals, I have Bobby Witt Jr. is going for 40-40. Now, if you don't know what 40-40 is, it's an exclusive club that you only get to join if you hit 40 home runs and 40 stolen bases in a single season. And only 5 players have ever made it into this club. Baseball's been going on for like 170 years, and only 5 times has this ever happened, and I'm predicting that Bobby Witt Jr. is going to do it this year. He's that talented. Bobby Witt easily got 40 bases last year. I'm pretty sure he stole 59 and he hit 30 home runs flat, but most of his home runs came in the second half where he was a much better player. I think that's going to carry over into the 2024 season, and I think he's gonna hit 40 home runs, and I know he'll steal 40 bases if he stays healthy. I think he's good enough to be in the 40-40 club, and I think that's gonna happen. And finally, the prediction for the Cleveland Guardians. And I think they're gonna have 2 pitchers in the top 10 of the American League ERA leaderboard. And my prediction would be Tanner Bybee and Shane Bieber. All of their 5 starting pitchers are all really young, and we haven't seen too much of them, but what we have seen of them is extremely promising, which makes me think that they have a pretty good chance of being really good everyday players. But again, I just think that 2 of the 5 are going to end up in the top 10. Like I said, the most likely are probably Bybee and Bieber, but it could be the other 3 as well. I could see it. And the final division for today's video, again, the NL teams are going to be in the next video coming up in a couple of days. So again, make sure you subscribe and turn on post notifications for that. But I have the AL West, and I'm going to be starting out with the Houston Astros, who I think are going to be a little bit worse than they've been in a couple of years. I think they're going to miss their first ALCS in the past 7 years. I don't think that the Astros are a bad team at all, and I know that they always get it done in the regular season and the postseason, but things just have to change at some point. They just do. I think Verlander's expected to miss time, and he's getting older, like a lot older, and I just don't know how much faith I have in their rotation after it struggled a lot of last season. Their bullpen is incredible, and their offense should also be really good, except they are aging a little bit now. Like, their core is getting a little older. I think that the Astros might be falling off, but I think that the Rangers are going to be falling off a lot more. I think that the Rangers are going to be missing the postseason after winning the World Series last year. I really don't like the Rangers rotation at all this season. Nathan Eovaldi is a really good pitcher, and I don't think anyone's going to discredit that, but they lost Jordan Montgomery, who was a huge piece to their championship roster, and Max Scherzer and Jacob deGrom are going to be missing significant time of this season. Those 2 things are going to seriously impact the way that they play in 2024, and with their terrible bullpen, which even got worse, I don't think that they really have a chance to make the postseason this year, even if their offense is still elite. Man, the American League West is really bold so far, and it's getting bolder with the Los Angeles Angels, who I think are going to have their single best season since 2013, with Mike Trout carrying the team and winning AL MVP again. I think Mike Trout's going to get into around 150 games in 2024, not get injured, and win the MVP. I think everyone would like to see this happen. Who doesn't love when Mike Trout is mashing baseballs? But he's heard everything about how he's washed, and I think he wants to prove that that's not true. He's going to come back, have like 45 homers, win the MVP, and the Angels are going to have their best season that they've had in a while. That's my prediction. I don't think that they're going to make the playoffs, but I think that they're going to be contending late into the season with Mike Trout carrying them. For the Mariners, this might be my favorite prediction on the entire list in terms of boldness and probability, in my opinion. And that's that George Kirby wins the American League Cy Young while also leading the American League in ERA. George Kirby is kind of the anti-Blake Snell in a way, and since Blake Snell just won the NL Cy Young, Why can't George Kirby win the AL Cy Young? George Kirby walks no one. I think he has like the lowest walk rate in MLB history or something already. Like, he's just incredible when it comes to limiting free passes, and personally I love that. His stuff is just really good, and he just really knows how to pitch, and I'm a really big fan of this guy. I was last year too, and heading into this season I think he's going to be one of the best pitchers in MLB, if not the single best one. I believe in him that much. Give me him winning the AL Cy Young. And last but also least, I have the Oakland Athletics, who I think are going to win even less games than 2023, and I think that they're going to have a below 300 winning percentage. Now, I don't think that the roster is much worse for Oakland in 2024. I think that their starting rotation is actually pretty improved, and if I didn't mention Zach Geloff for another video, one of my longtime channel members would be extremely mad at me, so I'm going to mention Zach Geloff. That guy is really good, and he's going to have a good season, but that doesn't excuse the fact that the rest of their offense I don't think has ever played baseball before, and I don't think is very competent. So I don't think that they're gonna win like any games, and I don't think anyone thinks that they're gonna win games. But that's it. With that being said, that's the end of the American League. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Please leave a like if you did, and hopefully you guys will be back for part 2 coming in a couple of days.